So we don't need geometry in this particular scenario. I am going to integrate from 0 to 3. And because it's average value, what do I have to remember?
1 over
Okay, average value theorem, we talked about that last time. 1 over 3 minus 0. And you end up with one-third out front, x minus 1 squared. What am I going to do with that? Anti-derived. So the rule is first.
Add
1/3 and x minus 1.
And then divide by the new exponent. Lots of 3's.
No?
Just noticing.
Oh, yeah. Because I thought the 1 over 3 was the very, you were at the very first.
Yeah.
What's the thing?
No. Okay, so we are calculating. We've got 1/9. X minus 1 cubed from 3 to 0, so you have to plug in the top number first. Minus the bottom number. And all of that calculating, what do you end up with when you get there? I'm going fast.
One?
Yes, he says with disbelief. It is 1. So we have 1. What does 1 mean? 1 what?
1 y.
1 average y value. Okay. So the question though states that we want the point or points in the interval. So we're not quite done yet. We know the average y value is 1. How do I figure out the x values?
You said it's equal to
1.
So I heard set it equal to, so plug it in for y. We know y is 1, solve, and you'll get your 2 x values.
Is it just x equals 2?
X equals 2 is a solution, but it's not the only solution.
Or 0.
0, yes. Don't forget when you take square root, you've got plus minus. So your answer would be 2, 1, and 0, 1.
Wow.
For example 8. Are we okay with example 7? That's it. Example 8, I would like you to do these two on your own. Things that I want to point out when you're reading the directions. Geometry of the region, what does that tell you? So find the average value. We know we're finding average value, so you know you're using that formula. But geometry of the region, that gives you what hint?
don't use your calculator.
Don't use a calculator, okay. How are you going to solve this?
Graph.
Graph it, okay. So graph it, figure out how to calculate the area. Let me know when you have the area.
Why?
Is that a result? Can we try it? I mean, can we check it?
Yes, what'd you get?
I mean, just a graph. Is that how it comes out?
Yes.
Is my
Where
graph-
is the shaded area though?
Is my graph correct?
Yes.
Is it down here?
Yes. Good, good.
So confused.
For the first one?
Well, I don't know if I
It's cute.
It's symmetrical, it's a tangent graph. So the area from negative pi force to pi force would be 0.
Zaltzman?
The
Yeah.
How are we
area?
supposed to know if that is a semicircle?
Because of the
Semi-complete.
formula, square root of 1 minus t squared.
It's minus, not plus.
Oh, that's
No, if it's plus, it goes down. It's minus.
So-
How are we supposed to like know that that is a semicircle? It might be like a semicircle looking like.
wow.
Because you know the formula x squared plus y squared equals r squared? In this particular case, it's 1 if you solve for y.
Aha.
So this is a
Lord.
formula that you just start recognizing. It's only part of it, it's the
Lord.
positive portion of it. Actually, it's the
I
negative
became
portion.
the same.
Part B. I actually did a bit of work. You didn't have to do too much once you figured out that the negative area and the positive area canceled out. So I was joking about how this would take a long time. Very. So it's negative and the
Sorry. Oh.
Okay, so not much to do once you recognize the pattern. So our trig functions, just be careful with them because it could just end up as 0 and you don't have to do that much work.
The software,
Yeah.
like geometry problems or like that, like part B, we just draw it and that's our work.
Right. You could explain it if you needed to explain it. If this was not a multiple choice question on the AP exam, you would need to explain a little bit, but. All right.
Special effects.
Last question. And I just wanted to do one more example of this because I think despite the fact it's a relatively easy concept, students often have trouble with it. So show the value. We've got an equation here, lies between 2 root 2 and 3. So what theorem are we using?
Max min
Um,
inequality.
I heard two answers. The max-min equation. So if you were to draw this particular diagram, this picture here, from 0 to 1, what does this look like? Without using your calculator, you could tell me.
Increasing.
Something.
Decreasing.
Yes? Yes.
Curve.
So at 0, I know it's going to be what value?
0,
2 root
2,
2.
3.
2 root 2.
2.
Okay. And at 1, it's going to be
3.
3. And it's going to be increasing. So we're trying to find the area under the curve. And we're trying to show that it lies between 2 root 2 and 3. So you could explain this how? What would you?
The minimum one is 1 times 2 root 2, so it's, yeah. And then the max is 3.
Okay. So the min rectangle is 2 root 2 times 1. The max rectangle, 3 times 1. Therefore, your answer has to lie between those two solutions. So you're just using the max. There isn't a whole lot to do besides explaining that. So if you know that particular rule, you'll be okay.
Is that all the work we have to show, like, on our
That's pretty
phone?
much it. The min-max inequality rule.
And they say it lies between